By the way, this is episode, I don't know, but it's chapter 21, 22, 23.
Yes, if you read the title of the episode, you already know that.
But if you didn't read it and you're just listening, this is going to be 21, 22, 23. So if you haven't gotten that far yet, stop, go back to the previous episode. But first, let's talk some shit,
Let's
baby.
run our filthy mouths. Okay, I want to circle back to, I'm so sorry. At the beginning of...
By the way, I just want you to know, at no other point in time do you ever need to clear your throat this aggressively. I just want you to know that this is only when we start podcasting that you're like, oh my God, I've got...
I literally don't know what it is. It happens when I have to do voiceover auditions too. All of a sudden I'm...
Phlegmy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're Flemish. She's from Brussels.
I'm Flemish! Is that what Flemish is?
That's the language in Brussels. I crowd worked a dude at the Comedy Store. He was like, I'm from Belgium. I'm like, oh, do you speak Flemish? And he's like, yes, I do. I was like, and then he started laughing. I was like, I'm so glad you laughed because that was the dumbest joke. But it is my favorite joke. I remember when I went to Brussels for the first time, I'm like, do you guys speak French here? And they're like, or Flemish. And I'm like,
Oh, Jews!
like, I have allergies. Keep going. What is it?
I didn't know till now that. I mean, I knew Flemish was a language, and I just went like, well, I don't know where they speak that. Flemia?
Flamea.
Flemania.
Flambe.
Speaking of Jews, we were talking about journaling last episode.
All right, and Frank.
That's what I think that's why we're insecure about our journaling. Because this 12-year-old has a published journal, and people are like, it's incredible. I cried. She's telling a fucking epic story. Well, a tragedy, but it's still, I mean, incredible, beautiful, emotional story.
Just so you know, I've never read her journal.
Her journal, it's a diary.
Dear diary.
I did.
Dear diarrhea.
Not only did I read it, I think I started signing my diary Shalom.
Did she end it with shalom?
I don't know, but she must have, because why did I start doing that? Why did I want to be Anne Frank? Spoiler alert, didn't work out great for her, unfortunately.
By the way, now that you've just brought up the comparison of like what we were journaling when we were 12 to what she journaled when we were 12, now I have to read it.
Yeah.
Now I want to read.
No, because now you're going to, every time you journal, go, my journal will never be good enough.
By the way, I usually only want to read a journal if it's a person that I'm dating.
Yeah. Like, are they talking about me? Are they writing about their illicit affairs? That was the only point I had to say, was that I think having children read the Diary of Anne Frank really
makes you insecure about the schlock you're journaling about.
You go, if I die in a horrible tragedy, will this get published?
I mean, when I was 12, my entire journal was, why don't boys like me? I like boys. Boys don't like me. Why don't I have boobs yet? I want boobs. Boobs. Oh, I'm depressed. I don't have boobs. Boys don't like me. I'm so sad. I want boobs. I want boys. Boys and boobs.
Yeah, the fact that
and I was like, when am I going to get my period? I'm like, everyone's getting their period. I'm not even close to getting my... By the way, I was still 2 years away from getting my period.
Oh, yeah, I was a late bloomer.
When did you get your period?
I think I was 15.
Yeah.
I got my period. By the time I got my period, all of my friends celebrated.
Oh, same. By the time I got it, people were like, God, thank God, she's going to shut up about it already.
Yeah.
It's all I talked about.
And then you were like, God, my period!
Never complained about it once. I was always overjoyed to have it.
Never complained about it once?
Once I got older, yeah, but like for the first year, I was constantly like, I got my period.
Yeah, I got my period.
Bleeding.
My boobs are getting bigger. Obviously not big enough for anyone to notice. That's why I'm announcing it.
No, by the way, never got boobs.
This is the biggest my tits have ever been.
Yeah.
But no, that's not true. When I was heavier, they were bigger.
Yeah.
But they've never been. You know what? I looked in the mirror the other day and I was like, I actually like my boobs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just acceptance or if they've changed a little, but, maybe I was too hard on myself when I was younger, or maybe I've given up. It's hard to know.
Let me tell you something right now. You were absolutely hard on yourself when you were younger.
Yeah, I'm a woman. But
Yeah. I remember when I moved out to LA, my mom was like, what are you going to do without me? I'm like, trust me, I'll figure out a way to hate myself.
Oh,
don't you worry.
The legacy lives on, mother. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I am insufferable with or without you. So whether you like me or not, or did I ever tell you what my mom once said to me? I love you, but I don't like you.
She said that?
Yeah. Anyway.
My mom just kept it tucked in.
Yeah, she just ashed on you. It's one of my favorite stories.
Just
Take it easy.
take it easy. I was
so-
watching an Eagles documentary the other night. Well, Nate was watching it because he watches documentaries. Not that I don't.
By the way, love documentaries.
Oh, me too. I just don't put TV on. I just, the amount of time that's like, I could be watching something. Instead, I'm just in my head going, I'm failing.
I will say that I've recently, I would say in the past like 2 years, kind of started to turn the TV on more and watch stuff.
Yeah. I watch more because he watches it.
Yeah.
But an Eagles documentary was on, and all I could think was, if you're my age and you like the Eagles, there is a 0% chance you didn't have an alcoholic parent.
That's really funny.
It's just
It's really funny. You need to do that. You
Really?
need to talk about that. Yeah.
You know what else is funny? We got high yesterday. We took an edible, and it was like, I took a half of a 10 milligram, but I haven't been taking them, so I was just way higher than I thought I'd be. And I was like, I want to watch nature documentaries. Nate turned on this documentary called Serengeti. And at some point, I had to Google, because there was like a storyline with the animals, and I was like, I don't think this is real. And we Googled it and found out it was AI. Like we were watching, we thought it was real, and it was AI, which had made so much sense because we were watching this scene of baboons fighting, and we were both like, is this what baboons sound like? I swear to God, they ADR'd someone just being like,
Was it? Is that what it was?
I mean, I'd have to do a deeper research, but I was like, oh, no wonder the baboon sounded like one guy just going, and I was like, what?
What part of it was AI then?
They said there were some clips of real animals, but like, I think a lot of it, or not AI, CGI, excuse me. CGI, pardon me.
I mean, kind of same thing.
Early
though.
AI. I mean,
Yeah, it's fake.
They didn't make it, it wasn't a machine making up what it was, but
Yeah,
it was like.
but it was still fake. But see, that's what's so crazy to me. Like, isn't nature cool enough?
Yeah, is nature not, it's like.
Are we no longer impressed by bamboos? Or bamboos?
Apparently not.
Pandas? Whatever. Just forget it. I can't speak English.
Forget it. Pandas falling out of trees. They showed an albatross nest, and I don't know if this is a real fact, and they were just filling in with like video of albatross, but a little bird, a windstorm came while both of the albatross parents were out looking for food for the baby, and the baby gets blown out of the nest, and they were like, it's right by the nest, but they were like, albatross can't recognize their young by call or sight or scent. The only way they know it's their baby is if it's in the nest. This bird was right to the outside of the nest, and the dad's like, where's my baby?
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, albatross are dying out. And it's like, yeah, no shit.
Their dads are idiots.
Yeah, their dad's like, I guess I don't have a kid anymore. It's literally a foot away.
The laziest parenting ever.
I mean, it's pretty standard that's about his dad.
Yeah.
That's about as much as any dad does.
Dads won't claim any child as their own unless it's in the house. The second the kid leaves the house, dad's like, not my kid.
Not my son. Not my baby bird.
No.
Get a test.
Crazy.
Prove it.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're like dying out in droves. But I also now that I guess the facts could still be true, and they just CGI'd to make it presentable.
More dramatic. I mean, by the way, I love that the CGI people were like, do you want to make the albatross look like a big dum-dum?
Yeah.
Just put the baby bird 1 inch outside of the nest. With that scenario, by the way, the albatross for sure would have known it was its bird if it was like just outside of the nest.
And it's trying to get back in, and it just shows a close-up shot from below the nest it's CGI, of this bird's giant nose just like the bird looked stupid.
I'm sorry. Whoever it was that's just throwing so much shade at the albatross community.
It's offensive.
It's an albatrosity. As I was saying it, I was really proud of myself. I just want you to know that.
I know. An albatrosity.
It was an albatrosity.
And then they showed a penguin getting chased by killer whales.
They're quick though.
It was bobbing and weaving, but 3 of them.
My favorite
started
thing
circling.
is when killer whales, when they fuck with glaciers, icebergs, when there's penguins on icebergs, they're like, watch this. And then a killer whale comes up and just splashes the iceberg and the penguins are like, whoa. And then they fall in the water and they're like, nom, 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 nom.
That's your favorite thing.
I just think it's really funny. That like whales
Not to the penguin who's like...
Whales are so smart that they're like, watch this.
You know what they don't show enough is how often is a whale hitting an empty iceberg and they're like, oh, hang on.
Do you think I got anything?
Do they know? Do they always know?
I think they see that because I think the penguin, they saw the penguin like hop up on the iceberg.
Yeah, you ain't got nowhere to go.
And they're like, you're fucked, buddy. You thought you were safe. Ah, hilarious. Just do a couple laps. Really make them think they're okay.
And just pretend to leave. Hey, we're back.
Psych, splishity splash. Take that, Pengy.
And speaking of making a splash, we are going to take a quick break. Hear a word from any sponsors that we may or may not have. I'm just...
Brought to you by Ever and Rent the Runway. We're manifesting those two people as our sponsors.
Yeah, they have not sponsored us, but we would like them to.
We're plugging them right now.
Are you sick of our shitty outfits? Tell Rent the Runway to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, we should look better, and it should be Rent the Runway.
People have to look at us.
Currently not brought to you by Rent the Runway. Rent the Runway.
Window One.
Goodbye.
We lost our sponsorship. Let's get to the book.
Okay.
All right, and... Okay.
Chapitre 21.
Ah, 21. Que belle.
Il y a plus de fées.
Plus de fées. There's a lot of
Plus de fées
fées.
avec cheveux noirs. Cheveux avec
les
hommes,
yeux
avec les hommes
bleus,
les yeux bleus et
violette.
Violette et c'est le visage, c'est magnifique.
Parfait.
Très parfait. Mwah. Speaking of parfait, I am hungry. So we were just speaking in French, if you didn't know.
Humble barrag.
We are smart.
What's so smart?
But we were just talking about the high fae that she encountered at Aimée, who saved her from her gang rape.
At the end of the last episode, a man had just walked up. She turns, he's the most beautiful man she's ever seen. And he...
By the way, purple eyes, black hair, just a whole lot of hot.
Deep blue, just gorgeous. And he's very beautiful, but also there is something like menacing about him. Mm-hmm. Like, she notes that he doesn't have a mask on, so she's like, oh, you're not from the Spring Court. And he, by the way, is like, obviously.
A dirk.
Which I guess is the mask, but also feels like he's just throwing shade at the Spring Court. He's like, you think this came from the Spring Court? We don't know where he's from.
He knows he's hot shit. He's hot shit.
Yeah. But he's like, it's Calanmai. This is the one night where all of the monsters can roam anywhere they want.
Yeah.
Like, that statement, but then the fact that the minute he says something, these three fae that are fucking with her are like,
feet fast.
They're the fuck out of there. So she's like, I don't know what I don't know who this guy is or where he's from.
Yeah.
But he obviously fucks shit up.
He fucks shit up, and she hasn't seen anyone have a response to a man like that other than Tamlin.
Yeah, so
where people are like, holy fucking shit, Dada's here, got to go.
Yeah, so she is like, I gotta get the fuck out of here too. She starts trying to make her way back, kind of. Is she even trying to leave? She kind of like tries to go back into the party.
She tries to leave. She's leaving. She's not leaving. Blah blah blah.
Lucian
by the way,
finds
the guy is like, you should get out of here. And she's like, nah. And then she runs into Lucian.
I don't listen to men.
And Lucian's like, yo, you do not. And we misspoke. In the last episode, we said this happened, but it happened now.
We got ahead of ourselves.
Lucian was like, baby girl, like, you do not want to see Tamlin
Lucian
right now.
picks her up like a fucking sack of potatoes and runs her back.
Yeah, he's like, you can't be out here. You are an open gash.
Yeah, this is when he's like,
your pussy's gonna get snatched if you stay out here. Calanmai is all about Tam getting his fucking dick wet.
He will allow a great and terrible magic. That's what.
Yeah, and then Lucian's also like, I gotta get back out there and pick up my leftovers.
He's like, oh, but we also get to whoever he doesn't fuck is ours. Like, it's so funny. It's like, these are high fate. They're also still men. And also, is there a great and terrible magic, or is it a guy just going, I'm possessed. I'm gonna fuck a slut. Like, imagine finding out the guy that you're into fucked some fat pig, and he's like, I was taken over by a crazy demon.
It wasn't my fault. I did it for the magic. You know how you drain the swamp? The swamp is my testes. They
I'm
need
the
to be
swamp.
drained.
My balls are filled with magic I have to put into the earth. Well, then just fuck the earth, Tamlin.
Dig a hole. Fuck the earth. Go to the Starlight Pond. I'm convinced, by the way, that's where he's putting his jizz when he's not putting it in a maiden during Colin Mai.
Oh, yeah. Because he's just been saving it up this whole time? I'm sorry, he wasn't in between dinners yanking his fucking...
yanking his crank. By the way, we're just going to get right back into the book because otherwise we'll be on a tangent for a while. But this is my favorite part when Tamlin, she goes back to the house. He's like, lock your fucking door. And then she goes back, she locks her door, but then she's just like, I want a tasty treat. She leaves her room and runs into Tamlin, and he's like, oh, by the way, because she had been wandering around Callan Mai, her scent was kind of all over the place.
And he's like, I looked for you, I smelled you, but you weren't there.
And he's just like a lunatic. And he's like, and then he says to her, he goes, I ended up fucking another maiden. And
she told me not to be gentle with her. But I would have been gentle with you.
I would have been so
I'm
gentle
just
with you.
picturing some fairy garbage monster who's like, give it to me, Tamlin! Ride me like I'm an old Geo Metro, and you are late for work, and you're gonna get fired if you're not there on time.
You're not stopping at traffic lights, you're blowing all the lights.
Blow all my lights out, Tamlin. Fuck me in my eye holes.
I want these rims dented.
I don't want to walk out of here. I want to be carried out on a horse because my body has been rendered immobile.
I want you to treat me like a rental car that you bought full coverage for and you don't care how it comes back. I want you to take me for a ride. Bring me back a fucking hubcap.
Smash out the taillights. Bring me back a fucking hubcap. I want you returning me with no tires left on the wheels.
I want to be a steering column and a hubcap by the time you're done.
Fill me up with gasoline and light me on fire, Spring Court Daddy.
I want to be smoldering ash. By the time I want you to reduce this pussy to a pile of smoldering ash. Now I just feel like doing an impression of Sean Patton. I want you to return me with nothing, but I want to be a vocal cord. But
don't you dare make eye contact with me.
No respect! Don't you dare respect me!
This isn't about love, this is about Prythian.
This is about regenerating magic, and nothing says magic like blowing this back out.
Yeah. Fill up my steamy, stinky hole with your magic seed.
Give it to my bog.
If you don't come inside me, the whole planet dies. If you don't blow a giant load into my stinky holes, Prythian will be no more.
Make me moan like an adder.
Was that her clit?
That was her clit. What was left of it?
I lost it in the original war. 50 years ago.
Was that enough of a riff? I don't know,
but...
Sure,
but then he's
right.
like, I would have been gentle.
But then he's like, I would have been gentle with you. And Pharaoh's like,
it's also like so disrespectful.
So rude. How dare you assume I would want it gently? And then he bites her.
By the way, he goes, I would have been gentle with you.
And then he bites her.
I would have been, is this gentle? What? I would have been gentle with you.
And then he's like, oh, and don't disobey me. Stay in your room. And that's, by the way, when Pharaoh realizes she wants Tamlin.
When he gets a bipolar me, I would have been gentle with him.
For the record.
And then he bites her in the neck.
In any circumstance, if a girlfriend of ours were to come to us and be like,
he bit
this
me.
man who I've never been with, who I've just been flirting with,
who, by the way, kidnapped me
from my family, told me to lock myself in
wrote terrible poetry.
Oh, the worst poetry. Then told me to lock myself in his room while he just goes train on some fucking hose. He chopped down on my neck. We would both be like, Erica.
That's fucking horrifying. Call the police.
Call the police. Get a restraining order.
But in this book,
she was like,
oh, he bit you. I want to be
The
bit.
things I will
Why am I
allow.
pretending to bite my dog?
Yeah, fucking, you like that? You like that, monkey? She's
I don't understand.
yeah. Anyway, so
Anyway,
that was that
was
chapter.
just the first chapter of the 3 we're gonna cover.
So
I have to recover. Give me a moment.
oh my god. Chapter 22. Feyre wakes up, bruises on her neck, goes downstairs, and she's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And then
But she's like, "Oops." It's like when you're
like
a
she was a
middle
hickey,
schooler
when
and got
you're
a
a
hickey,
hickey.
where you're like, does everyone, dude, isn't that fucking...
I am so, look what you did. I'm so upset.
You should be ashamed. And they get in a
Ew.
fight at breakfast.
Now I have to put toothpaste. You remember when you thought you could put toothpaste on a hickey and then we get rid of it?
No.
Yeah, that was a whole thing to get rid of hickeys.
That's for pimples.
Yeah, it's for hickeys too. The coolness of it like makes the blood vessels
I wish I had so many hickeys that I had to come up with a solution.
yeah. I only ever had one hickey once. It was at summer camp and I was pretty proud of it.
Really? Instead of me trying to figure out how I could give myself a hickey.
You have a little straw, the bendy straw. You're like, that's what it's for.
Oh yeah.
No, it looks like a birthmark. It's just so small.
I think it's cancer.
I think you have melanoma.
Yeah, you should get that looked at.
That's basal cell carcinoma.
Definitely a hickey from a man who's real.
Yeah, and with a man, he had a mouth like a straw.
His name was Carl.
Carl's Jr.?
That is where I worked.
Anyway, so Feyre has this, and then she like gets mad, and they were like, both of them, both Lucien and Tamlin were like, well, we told you to stay in your room.
Yeah, they're like, you were asking for it. We literally told you not to leave your room.
We told you that Tamlin was gonna be on a pussy tear, and you just rolled the dice.
And she's like,
last time you go get a midnight snack shows you not to be hungry.
Yeah, you pig. That's what you get for eating late at night, you fat bitch.
And that is when Feyre developed an eating disorder.
It was eventually gonna happen. We knew it. He brings her roses from his parents' garden.
By the way, the best part is when she was getting ready to go downstairs for breakfast, she was like, I gotta slip into something nice. She put on a dress.
Yeah. She's never worn a dress.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't for breakfast. It was for dinner that night.
Yeah, that was later. But she puts on a dress because they fight at breakfast in front of Lucien. And she's like, and they're like, you shouldn't have come here. And she's like, you shouldn't have bit me. And then she's like, I gotta look hot for him. This is so fucking toxic.
That's so toxic. And that night she gets all dressed up. She comes downstairs. And then Lucian's like,
I have an important thing to do.
I think I left the iron on. I gotta go.
I just remembered a really big thing that I definitely is real and I have to go.
A big thing came up. I gotta go take care of that big thing. And then Tamlin's like, body yada yada yada. And then Feyre's like, you know what? If the time is right, I want to bring you to see my paintings. Remember when you read your limericks to me? Well, now I want
you have to see my shitty art.
Do you want to see my finger paints? So they get to the studio where she has all of her stuff. She locked the door, and Tamlin's like, "You locked the door?"
Like fumbling for the keys, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know how to tell you this. No one was gonna come in here."
Also, you think a lock is gonna stop him?
Yeah, if I wanted to come in here and jizz on your art, I'd break down the door.
Let me tell you, when I'm done jizzing in a maiden, one thing I really want to do is jizz on finger paints of a girl who can't even read.
Yeah, and she did a painting of the beautiful Glen and Starlight Pool he took her to, and she's thinking like, this is such a big...
That was the one that she wanted to give to him. She wanted to give him that one.
She wanted him to notice that, and he's like, can I have this one of your cottage that is in the snow where you used to hunt?
By the way, the cottage that he shits on all the time.
Yeah, the hovel?
The world that she came from, he's like, no, I want a picture of this because it reminds me of,
because he has a power dynamic. He's gonna jerk off to her like, I'm so much more rich than she is.
Like, oh man, she grew up in a 1-bedroom studio apartment. Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. But I guess, what is his rationale that like, this is who you really are, and it's like,
this is who. Yeah, he feels like connected to her. He's like because you care about your family, and you struggled, and I've struggled, and we have this in common. And
she's like, you had to be a prince, a lord.
And then my favorite part is she's like, well, is there anything I can do to like help you? Like, is there nothing I can do? And he's like, nah, nothing you can do. Just stay home and just paint.
Yeah, just stay locked up. Definitely don't let anyone see you because you're a hot human and people will fuck you.
You're a hot commodity.
Don't go anywhere. Don't ask any questions.
My favorite line of this chapter
is right when it.
By the way, this is after she's been almost gangbanged at Cal and Mai.
Had a creepy interaction with a
rescued
creepy, scary guy.
A hot guy.
Bit.
And then told not to leave the house by multiple men because something bad was going to happen to her. Then she leaves the house for a fucking snack, gets bit. By the way,
her
tells
room,
her
not the
tells her
house,
that
but-
he would. Oh yeah, it was wherever she was.
He's like, I would have fucked you differently. But now I'm thinking about it being like, but now I can't get an erection because I went a little too hard back there. So you're just going to have to wait.
My Viagra it's totally worn out.
Yeah, you could have been gentle. I would have been gentle with you. Well, never.
Yeah. Okay, so all of this has happened, all right? And then she comes downstairs and she's like, you gave me a bite mark.
Like, you did this to
And
yourself.
then like, you asked for it. You left the house. We warned you. This
You
is
are a woman alive and breathing.
very victim blaming. She goes through all of this. Oh, by the way, gets dressed for dinner to that night. And
Which
it's
is
like,
fun.
it's like, let me show
You
you
did
my-
this to yourself. I'm
let
going to
me
dress
show
up
you
even
my
more.
paintings. And then at the last end of this chapter, she's like, and that was the first night that Farah didn't lock her door.
Well, spank my ass and rape me with your fairy dick. I painted a picture.
Spank my ass and rape me with your fairy dick.
All right, Minor. The next, it's getting so spicy that the chapter, the camera
was like,
overheated.
it's too hot.
So thank you for bearing with us.
Chapter 23, this is a quick one. This whole chapter was just really kind of boring for me. It was just Farah
It was,
and
like,
Tamlin
cute.
laying in the grass together.
It's pretty much all.
And
It is.
and then he was like, hey, do you want to see the world through my eyes? And she's like, yeah, totally. And he's like, all right, well, it's going to cost you a kiss.
Gotta give me a kiss. So disgusting.
So creepy, but also cringe, but like
if he did it to me, it'd be
cringe.
hot.
Like, there's so many moments, by the way.
They're like,
that are
ew.
cringy, where I'm like, oh, cringe.
But also hot.
Cringe.
Ew.
Ooh.
He kisses her eyelids.
He kisses her eyelids. And then she like wants to kiss him, but he's got this mask on, and she's just like, "Let me try and get your mask off." And
She's
he's
trying
like,
to take
"It's not coming off."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Why do you care so much?" She's like, "I don't know." And there was one line where she goes, "When did I get so superficial?" And I'm like, "Yeah, when did you get so superficial, bitch?"
Yeah, lady who lived in a cabin that was falling apart.
Yeah, you
and
lived in
had
a hovel.
clothes with holes in it. You're like, but what's on under your mask? But I get it. That can hide a lot. It's
Yeah.
like on dating apps when a guy has all sunglass pics, he's got a crazy eye.
Yeah. Or if he's got a hat on, you're gonna get hatfished.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Getting hatfished is the worst.
how fucking dare you, bald guys?
Dare you? How
How
dare
dare
you? Listen, be bald. Be bald, but be upfront about it.
Own it.
By the way, there are a lot of women who love bald men.
Yeah, they're out there.
They're just not me.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. There's some bald dudes.
Shine
man.
a bald
Oof.
head. Do they need to be like masculine? Yeah, I guess they're a man. I guess why wouldn't they need?
Well, the less hair a man has, the more testosterone he has, and the
Yeah.
more testosterone he has, the more likely he is going to
punch me in the bedroom.
bite you and.
Yeah, Tamlin has a lot of hair for someone who's biting people. I think it's a wig.
It's a.
We found out Tamlin was
Don't
in a
worry
wig.
about. Don't pull on the mask. Pull
mask.
on the hair.
Yeah.
Pull on the hair. There's a bald head under there.
He's just in a cheap wig.
He's got a toupee. Oh, he's just got a full bald crown and then just like hair on the sides. That's what he's been hiding this whole time.
Skullet.
And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then all of a
She
sudden,
hears like the songs of the birds.
and then all of a sudden Farrah's like, I'm really sleepy. I'm gonna go to, and she takes a nap in the grass.
Yeah,
and
so-
he naps with her.
Fairy kisses her heroine, and that's the whole
Yeah,
thing.
That's it. That's the whole chapter, and then she goes to sleep.
So join us next time when maybe they wake up. Who knows? If they're anything like my grandma, they won't.
Just know that if you were at all turned on by any of today's chapters, just know that the next ones coming up are gonna be
Oh, we're getting to the spicy chapter.
like you're gonna those pee pads that you have for your animals. You're gonna want to put those down for yourself, ladies.
Yeah.
because it's about to get slap city.
We're gonna get some sticky pages in the next week.
Yeah, sticky pages. That is a segment we are going to be bringing out. We're going to note which pages are the ones that get you the most hot and bothered and sticky wicky.
Stick them up.
Stick it in me.
All right.
Throw it in the throat. Chuck it in.
Bite me. Kiss my eyelids. Make me see things that I can't see because I'm a human.
Just bite me.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.